6 hours of work. Really, it's just blowing my mind how different it looks. There's the gate. Going all the way through to the back. You can see the pond back there, which is pretty nice. So I got a pond back there. And I got some area out here, wildlife area, through all that. How great. And they're getting ready to settle in for the night. I watch them carefully because corners can be deadly, because they like to pile up with one another. And I mean corners like a corner of the wall or a corner where the wall meets the floor. And sometimes, see how that little guy is squeezed back in there like that? You know, if you're not careful, the birds don't mean to, but they'll pile on just to make a fluffy little warm pile. And if they get stuck underneath that pile, they're not strong enough to fight their way out, and it can suffocate them. So I just keep an eye on it. I've seen some brooders that are round, well, rounded, you know, like, it's gonna get to like 60 tonight, so it's not bad for us, but for them might still be too much. So I close their little screen windows. The water tanks, the livestock water tanks, the cattle watering tanks, those are round on the sides, and I think they're also like a really good size. I think that's why people like them. I think John Soskovich did a thing where he tried to round out the wall floor point as well, just to minimize the chances that they get smothered. Yeah, just technique. It's a good one. It's crazy. I've walked back through here when the woods were really thick and it was hard to get through. And I wouldn't recognize this. One thing I do recognize is there's like a drainage ditch over there, a big ditch. That's it. That and a couple of these big trees that are closer to where I'm usually walking around and working on the property. But this is magic, man. But I'm left with this. A lot of these vines. You can see them hanging from these trees. They're all cut from the ground, but they didn't come down when the forestry mulcher took a hack at them. And, you know, these guys aren't going to spend all their time trying to chase the vines out of the trees. So ultimately, that's going to be something for me to work on. But this is pretty excellent. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen out here. And all of this mulch, all this wood that's been chipped up, this will break down over time and go down into the soil. That'll be good for it. Look at some of these giants though. Look at that thing. That's completely hidden in here before. That guy back in here. Boom. That's just amazing. The weather's been getting hot enough here that I added a fan in the brooder to try and keep the babies cooled off a little bit. And a fan for the big girls. You can see it right there next to the tire. It's battery powered, but it's a misting fan. So they're also getting misted with cool water, which is something they really like. Still March, and we're having consecutive days at 90 degrees plus. Might be a warm year. So here's a problem that I discovered with the pole barn, and I've been sitting tight for a couple of days. I had a friend come out who's a roofer, and he gave me some awesome advice and way ahead. And he said the barn actually looks pretty good. He's, you know, especially for people doing it themselves, but he's seen one that people build and they're not this good. Ah, sweat in the eye, burn. Oh, monkeys. Okay. So here's the issue. The truss, originally I had some cross members up on the roof to try and just maintain some stability while I was finishing the subsequent truss areas. Once that was done and I was getting ready, I thought, to move on to roofing before my discussion with my friend, I took those off. Since then, I've noticed that this truss, all of them in fact, have seemed to be pushing this way in a more extreme fashion than they were before. They always had a hint, a couple of inches of coming this way off center. And I was willing to live with that. But now it's a lot more than that. Look at that. That's got to be 12 inches. So here's what I'm going to try. This could be it for the pole barn. Once again, I've got the tractor out. I'm going to curl it up and put it against the purlin, the end of the board up here. And then I'm going to curl the tractor. I'm going to just do a gentle curl. Slowly, I'm going to be listening. It's going to be hard to hear over the tractor if I hear any popping or groaning or breaking sounds. But I'm just going to gently try and recover that distance back. Before I do, I'm going to measure the opening here, the width of the pole barn from outside of this post to outside of this post. Okay, the measurement from the outside of the post to the outside of the post should be 40 feet. Inside of post to inside of post is 39.1. So outside is 40 feet. I am at 40 feet, 1 inch. So it's not, by the standards of any professional out there, I'm fired. But for me and mine, I think I'm okay. Why does that matter to me? I was concerned that if my posts were too close and the truss was wedged in there and the posts were squeezing the truss, maybe it's just trying to, you know, it's like squirting it out the side, like, you know, anyway. Like a grape coming out of its skin. It's too late. So that means that the posts themselves are not going to restrict the movement back, because I'm not trying to push the post out at the same time as I'm trying to slide the truss back. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to gently ease that back little by little. I'm going to listen, I'm going to look, and if I get it to where I'm happy with it, I'm going to check all the other trusses to see if they lined up as well. If they did, I'm going to reapply the cross members, which are these 1x6s. But this time, I'm going to apply them to the underside. And that should give the stability that way. So if you remember the before picture, this truss is back to where it should be. And what I was doing is after each little movement, I would run down and just see if I got truss sticking out anywhere. And I don't. So this, it appears to have successfully moved all the trusses into a really good vertical alignment. So I'll do is I'll just line up the post, just eyeballing it, then come up. Not really anything sticking out. And then line it up vertically, and okay. I'm leaving it right there. And I'm going to put on these cross members, and then I'm still going to leave it there. And I know you don't normally leave your hydraulics loaded like that because you need to let them breathe, you know, just take the stress off them for storage. But that's not storage. This thing is working right now. I am nervous about this. I was nervous, I still am. But this is on here now. This is in position. I didn't hear anything go bang. So I'm going to get up here and I'm going to put on these cross members. You've watched me on scaffolding before, so I won't be showing that. But I'm going to get those pieces on at a diagonal, and I'll come back when that's done. It is hot. Got some cross members up, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So they're like at a diagonal going across the purlins, put on the underside, right? So nothing gets in the way of doing the roof. But even just in the time it took me to do that, see if I can get this so it lines up right. Look at that. You're starting to see the purlin sticking back out because it's trying to cheat this way again. I think I need to do another set of those supports. Look at that. Gravity's taking over and slowly my hydraulics are releasing. So because that's happening, it actually was happening earlier. Roof is pooching out just a little bit. And now I got those trusses on, or the cross braces. Nice and long. I guess I can let that down now. Well, I let the hydraulics down. I just hope that cross bracing, I needed to have the track the other way so gravity worked in favor of keeping tension on it. The other way it just was falling out. So we'll see. Hopefully it holds. It's part of the adventure. All right, I'm seriously dehydrated. I'm tired. Got farmer's market tomorrow. So we're gonna not only just put some eggs out there, some chicken, but we got this new batch of broilers. And what we're going to do is on May 13th is when we're planning to harvest those, and we're going to do a poultry harvesting workshop with it, I think. And so we'll advertise, see if folks want to come learn how to process their own broilers, their own meat birds, and yeah, hopefully that works out. So farmers market's a good way to get the word out. Cat. All right, well, that's it. Talk to you guys later.